What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Steadfast Podcast. If you're listening right at the start of the year, I just want to say I'm really glad you're here. Welcome to 2026. There is something about the first few weeks of the year and really kind of leading into that new year that I love. It's my favorite time of year. It feels like a reentry to me. Like we're walking back into real life. We've got schedules again, work routines, the normal pace of everything. And I love that. And I absolutely love a reset. I am one of those people who I cannot wait to reorganize things and get like a fresh start. So the garage, the closet, the pantry, I do like a really deep dive, really kind of starting before Christmas at my house. And same here with the office. Along with one of the other gals on the team, Tiff, we repainted the lines in the parking lot over the weekend. And just doing a lot of things around here to kind of reset and refresh for the new year. I also love to set goals and just kind of take an inventory of the last year and then set intention for this year. I meet with the accountant, we go over all the businesses, we go over everything, we get a plan together, and I like a good plan and a good intention set for the year. I love to look back over the last year and ask questions like, okay, what worked well? What didn't? What do we keep about the way that we did things? What do we keep about, even as simple as like when we're organizing, did I use this item last year? Can it be donated? Just kind of that reset, that refresh in all areas. I always keep like a 5-year, 10-year plan as well. Looking at that, do we meet the goals we wanted to meet in 2025? We reorganize that going into each year so that we're ready. The game plan is ready. Internally, what do I want to keep? What do I need to release? What do I want this year to be about? And it's not like I don't view goals as like a pressure thing. Like if I don't meet them, I'm okay with that because I know life happens. I mean, I'm a mom. I've got a lot of kids. We're going in a lot of different directions. We're doing a few things business wise. And I know that we've got to be flexible. We've got to be able to pivot. So even with all that, like reset, planning, intention, and things that I normally do, I was kind of surprised last week by a thought that might in a sneaky way be part of kind of my focus and my personal work for 2026. So I was in local deli here with my daughter picking up some food, and she had just had a basketball game, and this is my middle daughter, and they had taken a team picture that night of the team, and I was showing it to her, and she said something like she's got her glow up or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? And she looked me right in the face and she said, it means I'm comfortable in my skin. And I mean, I was just like, as a mom, that's all I want, is for all of my kids to be comfortable in their own skin. I mean, it hit me like right in the heart. It's a dream, right? Like I want for all of my kids, my girls, my boys, to be comfortable in their own skin, to be comfortable with their thoughts, with their ideas, with their convictions, with the things that they like, with the things that they don't like. It's hard in this world, I think, especially as I think middle school it really is a tough time. But I mean, I see some of those same middle school tendencies in adult women sometimes too. So I think it carries through all parts of life. But can we feel comfortable in our own skin when people criticize us, our choices, and for these middle school kids, you could say you like a song and one of your friends is like, oh, that song is so, I don't know, do people say played out anymore? I don't even know. But then immediately you start second guessing your taste, right? And so to be able to kind of let that stuff kind of dodge that stuff a little bit that might pull you away from this feeling comfortable in your own skin, I think is a really important thing. It's not about being perfect. It's not about performance. It's not about achievement. I just want my kids to feel safe in who they are and comfortable and steady at home and in themselves. That really made me realize it's actually come up another time with a friend who's my age, but that's what I want too. And I'm moving into this phase of life now in my mid 40s, and I really can feel something shifting. I'm starting to feel more comfortable with who I am, with what I think, with taking risks, with not needing to manage everyone else's perception of me, is a really important thing to hold that internal boundary with that. I'm curious about that for 2026. Like, what does it look like to live with more freedom to be yourself? And here's a question that I've been sitting with, and I want to invite you into also. When you imagine that concept of being truly free to be yourself, I wonder, can you just take a second and notice what comes up for you? Like, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Is there another part of you that shows up immediately and is like, don't be too much? I mean, I hear that. I hear that there's another part of me that like tries to rein that free to be me part back in. Don't be too much. Don't be too loud. Don't offend. Don't take up space. That's risky. People won't like you if you're fully you. Be aware of those parts. And that if there's a part that kind of rises up and wants to rein you back in, we call that in the therapy world, in the internal family system world, that's a protective part or a protector part. That's not a bad part. That's just a part that is trying to protect you from that hurt that maybe you felt at 13, 14 when somebody said that song you like isn't cool, right? We conform to the pattern of the world around us all the time. And what would it be like to just notice how the world tries to make us conform to the pattern and then still make a choice of what direction we want to go in? So instead of shaming that part of ourselves that may be trying to rein us in, we can get curious. So we can ask questions like, okay, when did you learn to shrink? When did I learn to shrink? What have I been protecting myself from? What am I protecting myself from? What would it feel like to be supported and to allow that and to allow myself to move more freely in the world? I wouldn't be doing my job if I did not tell you that starting therapy right now in January is a great way to like set intention for the year. It's not because you need a total overhaul, but it's just really a natural moment to take inventory, to go through some of these parts, to, like I said, set intention with support. If you've been feeling stuck, if you're carrying anxiety, pressure, burnout, Lord knows, relationship strain, if you've been doing the functioning, but you feel disconnected from yourself in any way, therapy can be a place where you get to slow down long enough, even if it's just for 50 minutes, to hear what's happening inside of you and to start building a life that fits who you really are and who you want to be. Therapy helps you take agency over your life. I always say that working with the counselor helps you move from a place of reactivity, so unaware, kind of just reactive to these protector parts that we're talking about, to a place of agency over your life. So choice, space. You're able to kind of, I've said this many times, one of my favorite things that somebody ever said to me was, I came in here with a big bowl of tangled up spaghetti and now I can see all the strands. So we're able to see the strands and make choice for ourselves. I'm going to be talking a lot about this throughout the second half of this season 3, but I think there are a lot of misconceptions about what counseling actually is. I think a lot of people think it's I just come in and vent for an hour. That's not it. You can do that with a friend. You actually are getting a chance to work with someone who has the training and the skill and brings the tools into the room to be able to guide you on this work. It's so much more than talking. Your therapist is actually coming into the room with a toolkit, and it's a wonderful process. And I can't wait to dig into this more deeply and go over some of these misconceptions, but that's a big one that I hear a lot. And just on that note, sometimes talking everything out can actually re-traumatize. And so being with someone who is skilled to know when to slow you down, when to lean in, what techniques you're actually using. And here at Steadfast, we have people who are trained in EMDR, people who are trained in brain spotting, people who are trained in cognitive behavioral therapy, people who are trained in internal family systems therapy, and people who, and a good counselor knows when to apply what technique at what time. And so it's really important that you're with somebody who's skilled to be able to help you unpack. So if that excites you, I'll go ahead and throw in one more misconception that people have. People think, and I think I've mentioned this before, that when I come to therapy, I'm going to be in counseling for the rest of my life. And that is also not the case. A lot of times you go see a counselor for about 8 to 12 sessions, and then you are feeling relief from the presenting issue. Now, what a lot of people will do and what I've chosen to do is I now see my counselor about once a month. And I do a check-in on things, and we work on the things that we need to work on. And that is more of a maintenance phase now for me, which is something some people choose not to do. Sometimes establishing a relationship, working through that kind of first presenting thing, and you've got somebody there whenever you need them for the rest of your life. So I don't want you to think that that's a big misconception, that when you start therapy, you're just, you're signed up forever. That's not it. So if that resonates with you at all, if you want to step in, you can learn more at steadfastchristiancounseling.com. You can book a free consultation with us, and tune in next week because I'm going to be really taking a deep dive into what Christian counseling even is. There is a big place where there is a misconception there. And so I talk about this all the time with people, and it really actually fires me up to talk about it. So tune in next time and hear me talk about what that is. And I'm also going to go over a recent Gospel Coalition article that really rubbed me the wrong way. So you don't want to miss that. I also want to tell you what's coming up this spring because I'm really excited. So we're going to be here releasing weekly short episodes with members of our team. So these are what you come to expect: practical, hope-filled, grounded episodes. And we're also going to have some amazing authors coming on this spring. So hop on for the next few months. And I really hope that this podcast will be a tool for you, something that you can return to that helps you feel a little bit more steady, a little bit more understood, and honestly, a little more at home in yourself, a little more comfortable in your skin. So as you reset this year, organize your closets, set your goals, make your plans, dream a little bit, but also take a moment and ask, what would it feel like to be more fully me this year? And if another part jumps in to try to hold you back, don't shame it. Just notice it, get curious. That's information, and that's good. Awareness is always good. Thanks for being here. It really means a lot that you would allow us to be in your ears while you're running your errands or running around the neighborhood. I'm really glad you're listening, and I can't wait for what's ahead this season. Bye, guys.